I started this video telling you the objective of this, which is nothing more than compare new movies with old movies. And this comparison is not just made with the purpose to underline how movies made 50, 60 years ago were much better than the ones that are made nowadays, but just to emphasize the fact that the movies we watch these days that are made nowadays are nothing more than the product of the society we live in. In particular, there was a recent research which has shown how human attention these days lasts no longer than 8 seconds. So, human being, we are incapable to focus on something for more than 8 seconds in a row. So we are becoming dumber and dumber. We have to accept it. Why are we becoming dumber and dumber? Because we don't need to pay attention to things. We have the new world based on the new economy, based on the social networks, based on the low cost, based on the internet, that allows us to turn our brain off. So we can chat on Facebook, chat on WhatsApp, on the iPhone chat, and keep doing all these things while we walk. We never look what we have around us because we are staring at the fucking smartphone, and all these things that you notice on a regular basis, and we do on a regular basis. So movie producers are well aware of this thing, which is why they cannot produce films that force us to turn our brain on for an hour and a half. Because if there's no light in the apartment, you can go to the switch and try turning on, but there's nothing to turn on. So there's no point in making brilliant films nowadays because people wouldn't be able to appreciate them. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that if I go to a movie theater and I want to, instead of turning on, instead of switching off my phone, I just put it in mute, in silent, and I keep chatting on that, I cannot really focus on the film. And I'm not used to focusing on a movie anymore if I ever did in the past. Which means I don't want to see something that forces me to turn off the fucking smartphone. I want to see something that I can follow at the same time as I'm doing the other things. So I want to see a film where every 5 minutes there's an explosion, something blows up. And I don't miss anything if right there I'm not watching the picture, but I'm doing something else. I'm telling my friend that tomorrow I'll go to the fucking shopping center to buy useless things that I don't need one bit. So that's it. Not saying that nowadays all the films are shit. Obviously there is a difference even within the superhero category. Because this film is horrible, it's terrible, even though it was an enormous, giant box office success. Because this is also a superhero picture, but it was much, much better. Almost brilliant. So there are differences in every category. But the thing is, if you watch others from the past, certain others from the past, you will see a complete different level. I'll give you one name today. I'm not talking about the usual, you always mention Bergman, Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, Jean-Pierre Melville, Fellini. Not saying that. Not talking about Kubrick and Wells. But today we talk about someone that used to make a lot of entertaining films. So, film that you could watch just for fun, to smile, to really enjoy the intelligent humor of this person. You can obviously appreciate the extraordinary black and white, incredible cinematography. The director of photography was brilliant. The editor was magnificent. The acting was superior, and the staging was masterful. So if you watch a Billy Wilder film from the early, even from the 40s, but let's say from the 50s or early 60s, you can really be struck by what you see. So that's my suggestion of the month. Let's say 4 movies, but I'd start with 2 in particular. If you have a look at this, there is Sunset Boulevard here, which is a fantastic film from 1950 that talks about an ex movie star from previous cinema that is no longer a star, but she would like to go back in that business. So it's a very actual movie that you can really relate nowadays. This one is based on Agatha Christie subject, Witness for Prosecution. This is amazing. This is incredibly done. You see a trial that seems much better than what is shown nowadays, with a level of acting that is amazing and very, very smart. But if you want to start with simply something funny, I'd recommend obviously Some Like It Hot. Maybe even people nowadays watch this movie because of Marilyn Monroe or the extraordinary humor in it. But my first suggestion for this month is The Apartment, Shirley MacLaine and Jack Lemmon in this amazing Billy Wilder's movie. This film is 70-80 years ahead of its time. So why am I recommending Billy Wilder? Because you can watch it as a pure entertainment film, but at the same time you can appreciate the quality, and this film makes you think and makes you realize things much more than reality movies based on real facts. Why? Because those films can be pretty heavy, or you know from the very beginning where they are aiming, while this film filters through the genre, and so it's much more powerful in delivering the message. So, suggestion of the month, Billy Wilder, one of the greatest geniuses of all times in the movie making world. I know that since the world is moving to this kind of productions I was mentioning before, it will be harder and harder to, not impossible, harder to find these days movie makers that can be as brilliant as Billy Wilder. So my desire would be to convince as many people as possible to go back to the old masters, because they can teach us a lot. So that's it for March 2006, my suggestion of the month. Billy Wilder. Have a good day.